Hey friend, Graham here from recordingrevolution.com, and a huge announcement today. This channel just crossed 400,000 subscribers, which is insane. And I wanted to take a moment to thank you. If you're one of the subscribers, or even if you're just watching a video, you're part of this movement. So thank you for being a part of this revolution. It's crazy because I never thought this would catch on. I really started this channel as a way to actually just host videos to embed on a blog that I wanted to have created for my friends. It was going to be like 12 posts on how to set up a home studio, record, mix, and that was going to be it. I thought it would help my buddies out. And then I thought I would get smart and I would put out some content. It would help me get some more mixing clients, which it did, but I never thought Recording Revolution would become one of the most popular audio resources, blogs, videos, period, on planet Earth, reaching millions of home studio musicians every single year and having students and followers in over 200 countries. And now here we have 400,000 subscribers to this channel. So mind is blown. And today I wanted to celebrate it by sharing with you, giving you some more content on what I think is one of the most critical things for you and for me as musicians to make it in this industry at any capacity in 2018 and beyond, whenever you're watching this video. Spoiler alert, it's not gear and it's not more techniques. It's something that's way more important, that's actually becoming more rare in today's musical landscape. So I'm gonna break that down for you. Hopefully it'll really help you out. And stay to the end, at the very end of this video, I've got a huge announcement and a gift for you that I think will really help you out. So I've been thinking a lot lately about what does it really take to make it in the music industry right now, today. And I do videos on this from time to time because I know many of you are trying to break into this space, even if it's just part-time. And if you look at what we used to latch onto as what we need to make it in the music industry, it used to be like gear. If I had the right gear, I could record professional sounding recordings. And that was because in the 80s and 90s, professional gear was really expensive. So it really was reserved for the studios, and the common home studio person, that didn't really exist. We didn't have access to that. So it made sense that gear was what we wanted. And so we all gravitated towards gear. Then we realized that now the gear is super affordable and super quality, and records are being made on budget equipment, stuff that's on the radio that was made for like $100. It's no longer gear. That's what you need to make it in the industry, because everybody has the same gear and it's super affordable, and there's really little barrier now when it comes to gear. So it's no longer gear. Then it became knowledge, because we had an era of people, and I was in this camp, that was growing up in the late 90s, early 2000s, when home studios were really starting to become viable, and we all had access to this gear. So now everyone had the gear, but not everyone had the knowledge. Okay, I have recording equipment, I have microphones, but I don't know how to use it. And that's where you probably are. That's how you probably stumbled across this channel, is got the equipment, or maybe I don't know what equipment I need, so you watch some of those videos, but then how do I use it? And so knowledge is more important than gear, because knowledge allows you to use the gear to get the result you want. But now there's so much knowledge. I mean, there's millions of videos out there for you to watch, mine included, on how to use the gear, record, mix, produce, make your stuff sound like it should be on the radio. That's what I spend every week trying to do here for you on this channel. And it's all free. I've got hundreds and hundreds of videos for you to watch that are absolutely free. And if you need to learn, if you want the knowledge, go watch them. But it's no longer about knowledge anymore. It's not about the gear. It's not about knowledge. There's one critical thing that we need beyond gear and knowledge to succeed in music these days. So what are all of us home studio musicians and home studio producers missing? What is that missing thing? The answer is a network. I mean, think about it. The modern musician, the modern home studio owner, like me, we sit alone in our little audio caves, as I call them. We write songs alone. We record on our own. We can mix our own music. We can even master our own music. We can distribute our music directly to our fans without ever leaving our grandmother's basement or wherever we live. We can do it all alone. And while I'm a huge proponent of that, I mean, I champion the home studio owner because that's the world I grew up in and I love it. I loved it more than working in studios. I didn't like the pressure of the recording studios. I didn't like the commercialism of it all. I just wanted to make music on my terms, which is why I did this in the first place and what led to the recording revolution. It's a great thing and it's a great time to be a solo home studio music maker. But if you have a network of other like-minded, musically driven, generous, creative people that are like you get three crucial things that's just missing if you don't have the network. And those things are feedback, accountability, and opportunities. All right, so back in the day, if you were gonna record a record, you couldn't just do it at home. You had to go into a studio. When you go into a studio, that is a communal place. It is a public place where multiple people are working together. And so in that environment, if you were writing in the studio or even recording in the studio and trying parts out, you immediately would get feedback on your work. You would try a lick or sing a lyric or play a guitar part or play a patch or a synth, and people would say, "Whoa, that's awesome. Wait, what was that again? Do more of that." Or, "I don't know, Graham, I don't think that's really working. Can we try something a little more like this in the bridge?" There was instantaneous feedback because there were multiple people working on a project together. We were all mutually invested, and it took a team. It took a team, so the team gave feedback. It was a natural part of the process. You don't think about it. You don't say, "Hey, now let's get some feedback on what we're doing." It just happened because people were there. The other thing about working in a studio with other musicians is you had to book time. If you had to book time, you were basically held accountable. It's like having a gym membership and having sessions with a personal trainer. If you book those sessions with a personal trainer, there's accountability built in because you feel embarrassed if you don't show up. You have to show up. You've paid for it. It's the same thing with studio time. If you paid for it, especially if you have a band or other musicians, they're counting on you. You have to be there. So it was like built in, baked in accountability to get your music made, written, get in the studio, work on it, chip away at it. Whereas now, and this is a huge issue I talk about a lot, which is we don't have to do anything. When we're alone in our home studio, we can work on our music or not. We can say, "You know what, I'm not feeling it. Let's do it next week." And next week becomes next month, and next month becomes next year, because as important as music is, it's not urgent. Important, but not urgent, so it never gets done. And without connecting with other musicians or other producers, you miss out on opportunities. Opportunities don't just manifest themselves when you're alone. They show up when you are connecting with other human beings, whether it's just jamming with a friend or songwriting with somebody. You vamp off each other, you feed off each other, and opportunities can come from that. A good example of that for me was I was jamming with my buddy Ill Factor, who's a super talented producer out of Miami, and we were working together, just having fun on some music, and we ended up collaborating on just a random idea that turned into a song that became the song called "Raise My Flag," and it got featured on Jimmy Fallon. His band The Roots played it live on television. So those opportunities wouldn't have come if I was sitting alone or if Ill was sitting alone. It was us connecting together and opportunities came out of that. Having a network of other musicians, producers, engineers, people in the music space around you is probably the most important thing to me personally. For a guy that works alone all the time, my biggest opportunities have come from connecting with people. I say it all the time, whether it's flying out to LA just to walk around and be around people, even though it's on the other side of the country for me, opportunities have come from that. Connecting with other producers and musicians, reaching out to people, jamming with people, taking calls with people that weren't in my genre, just doing different things have led to so much of my success. And if you ask any major producer or musician, they would say the same, that their biggest opportunities came from connecting with other people and having a network. And I'm so surprised that this is talked about so little. In the music space, we want to talk about tips and tricks, and I do too. I want to help you with those things. We want to talk about gear, and I do too. I want to help you with those things, but I don't feel like there's a lot of conversation about how do you build a network that allows you to have feedback and accountability and create opportunities. So real quick, I just want to give you 3 tips that will help you to create your own network of musicians to help you with those 3 things. Number 1, what I want you to do is find music-related events in your area and go to them, okay? Get out of your cave and go to where other people are. This could be things like on meetup.com or music expos or open mic nights, anything that's music related that's happening in your area, period. Go to it. And if there's nothing in your area, go to another area where there is something happening. Look, I live in Tampa, Florida. There is some great music here, but it's not the same music scene as LA, Nashville, New York, or even Miami down south. So at times, I even have to get out of my city and spend the time and the money to drive or fly somewhere else and attend an event that's nowhere near where I live because I know other musicians and producers will be there. Number 2, check classified ads in your local paper or Craigslist ads for engineers or musicians or mixers who are trying to get hired for certain gigs in your area, and contact them, not to hire them, but just to tell them that you admire their work. Like, actually look them up, check out their work, and if they're legit, if they're pretty talented, reach out to them and say, hey, I just saw your ad on Craigslist or whatever. You're super talented. I love your work. I'm not trying to hire you necessarily. I'd love to just meet up for coffee, man, and just talk music with you. Maybe we can encourage each other. These people are just as isolated as you and me. They would love to connect with another engineer or musician. And assuming you have complimented them and appreciated them, who wouldn't want to be taken out to coffee to be able to talk about themselves to someone else who kind of admires their work? And in that, you'll be able to make a connection and hopefully make a friend. And number 3, approach people in general. Anytime you're approaching somebody, approach people in general with a mindset of wanting to give to them first without asking for anything in return, whether it's giving them feedback, giving them a tip, giving them free service, just giving them a compliment. Reach out to people you admire and offer anything you can think of for them. And don't expect anything in return. Think about how you can add value to their life in any way. And be direct and be generous, and generally people will give back. And a lot of times what happens when you serve somebody like this, or you just bless somebody, or you add value to their lives, is one way they give to you without them realizing it is as they learn to like you, because you can't not like someone who's generous. They go, man, this Grant guy's really cool. He's really generous. They'll want to connect you with somebody else. You know, you really should talk to so-and-so who really is into whatever. You guys might hit it off, or you might connect with this person well, or have you talked to so-and-so? And that connection could possibly be your next break or your next big opportunity. So the opportunity may not even come from the person you reached out to or the person you gave to, but they will in turn pass your name along to somebody else just because they want to connect. We all like to connect our friends with other cool friends. So become a friend by being a giver first, and you just get swept up in this wave of potential opportunities. And what you want to do is have a clear picture of what you want to do in the music space and what you're really good at and where your lane is, because people want to know. They need to know what kind of box to put you in. But at the same time, please listen to this. Be willing to work outside of your lane, to be flexible, to be in a different role than you expected if it allows you to continue to take opportunities in the music space, because that's what gets your foot in the door, and you will eventually get into the role you want or discover a role you never knew you wanted. I'm a good example of this. I tried hard to get into the music space as a musician and then as an engineer, and the engineer part worked out a little bit better for me, and I was getting gigs. I was not trying to build an online resource to become anything. That's what the Recording Revolution became, and it became a full-time business for me. And I never expected it, but I always say I got in the music industry through a back door, and the Recording Revolution became the back door for me. And I was willing, if people wanted the videos. That's the only reason why I've been making them, is because people kept asking for the videos. So instead of fighting the opportunity that was there, I gave into the opportunity, and it has led to so many other opportunities for me as a musician or an engineer or just a music fan, because I was willing to be flexible with what my role is, as long as it added value to people's lives. Now, I've got a huge announcement to make and a gift for you in celebration of this channel hitting 400,000 subscribers. I am opening my very own network and community so that music no longer has to be a lonely pursuit for you, and so that you can get access to those 3 things I mentioned: feedback, accountability, and opportunities. One of the main benefits of going to audio school that people say is the network of musicians that they connected with, the network of people they connected with. But audio school is getting crazy expensive and it's not really accessible for most people. So I wanted to create my own network of musicians, engineers, songwriters, producers that's affordable and gives people the opportunity to connect with thousands of other like-minded people. I'm calling this community Recording Revolution VIP, and it consists of 3 components. Number 1, an active community of like-minded musicians and engineers and producers who will provide you with feedback, accountability, and opportunities. So if you are an engineer looking to work with a band, you'll be able to say, hey, I'm willing to mix a band. Here's what I work on. Let me know if you want your stuff mixed. Or if you're a band and you want someone to master your mix, you can say, looking for a mastering engineer, someone who can take my mix to the next level. Or if you're in need of a drummer, you could say, hey, I need a drummer in this area, or I need a bass player to play a remote bass part on my track. Whatever you need, you'll be able to connect with a massive community of like-minded people and get exactly what you need. Maybe you just want to jam with somebody, or maybe you want to just be inspired and co-write a song with somebody who's not like you. Or maybe you just want some feedback on your own music to know if you're in the ballpark. This is what I wish existed when I was getting started, and the community that I really feel like has been needed around this amazing group of people inside Recording Revolution. Component number 2 is going to be exclusive tutorials on all things in the music industry, brought in from some of my best friends in this space to cover subjects in the music industry that I don't normally cover here on this channel. Things that I think will really round out your experience. For example, tutorials on how to grow and build a thriving fan base, how the music business and royalties work, how to do songwriting and write hit choruses and hooks, and how to think about live performance so you put together an amazing set. And more exclusive tutorials will be continually added to this membership. And component number 3 are regular Q&A calls with me, yours truly, where you and I can hang out online and you can get access to me in a way that I haven't been able to create elsewhere. And also from time to time, I'll be bringing in some of my friends on these calls, so you'll be able to ask them amazing questions and get even more personalized attention. This is a part of the community that I'm super excited about, and I know you're gonna love it. Now, to celebrate this channel crossing over 400,000 subscribers, for the next 4 weeks, I'm gonna give everyone a free month to Recording Revolution VIP. This way you can jump in, take a look at the network, connect with people, get feedback, get a taste of the accountability, create some opportunities, and see if it's a fit for you, absolutely free. Just go to recordingrevolution.com/VIP or click the link in the description box below to get your free month of Recording Revolution VIP. Like I said, this is the community I wish existed when I got started, and I can't wait to meet you inside the community and hang out with you on the live Q&A calls. And don't worry, after the free month ends, I've made this membership super affordable so that you can stay in this community for a long time and get access to all the great benefits. And I know you're gonna want to, you're gonna love it. But if for some reason you don't, and you just want the free month, you can totally leave after that. No hard feelings. Also, because Recording Revolution VIP is all about connecting musicians and engineers all over the world, giving each other opportunities, 10% of all proceeds from this membership are going to music-related charities. These are charities that are actually donating musical instruments and music technology directly to kids who cannot afford them otherwise. And while we are living in a recording revolution where you can get a home studio for $350, not everyone can afford that. Their parents might be struggling with debt and they can't afford the bills month to month. And so no matter how talented their kid is musically, they just can't afford to put an instrument in their hands or a home studio in their hands. So these charities do that for them. And we want Recording Revolution VIP to help fund that endeavor. So if you join Recording Revolution VIP and decide to stay on as a paying member, every month you'll be supporting these talented musicians who don't have an opportunity to make music and basically helping put instruments and music technology into their hands. If you want to learn more about which specific charities we're supporting through the VIP, just click the link in the description below. It is all there for you to check out. As you can tell, I'm super excited about this entire community and I can't wait for you to join and I can't wait to meet you inside the VIP community. Thanks again for supporting this channel, for supporting this site, and for being a part of this revolution. If you've watched 100 videos, 400 videos, or if this is your first video you've ever watched, thank you. Your support means a lot, and I'm honored to be able to make videos for you for free every single week. Have a great week. I'll see you inside the VIP area and on our next live Q&A call.